Hello everyone, welcome to Fly Like an Eagle. Aerial yoga. Today we're going to focus on opening up the heart and some beautiful stretches, really getting that upper body to find its spaciousness and to spread our wings and fly a little. So here we go, let's get started. Start your watches if you're getting credit for any exercise time here, and otherwise, let's get moving. We're going to start in our wrist wrap actually, or I should say more of a wide spread here. So I want you to find the silk here in your hands. You're going to reach it nice and wide. Feet will be nice and wide. And you're going to just begin this helicopter side to side. Letting your body just open up and breathe here. Taking nice deep breaths in and out. Let those exhales be big and through the nose. Or inhales, I'm sorry, big in through the nose, exhales out of the mouth or out of the nose. Either one is fine. And let's do 4 more. 2 more. And last one here. So I hope you've turned on your Eagles playlist and your classic rock playlist so that we can keep on moving with this. Let's take this over the head. At that point, you should already be in a wrist wrap where you can just pull those wrists in tight. But if for some reason you lost that wrist wrap, just bring the silk in front of you. Act like you're going to hug it. Bring your hands through as if you're going to wipe something off your face and grab the silk, slide it in. Now for this next exercise, Flying Heron, I want you to stay a little bit wider in your grip. So that's not here, but nice and wide. This will give you a good base of support. You're going to step slightly forward of your plumb line. Take a nice deep breath in. We're going to really warm up with this one, so do your best. Take your time. Don't think about keeping a certain speed, okay? But you're going to keep an arm curl into your arms nice and strong, like you're trying to pull that silk down. And you're going to drop back and down into one foot, kicking one leg into the sky. Now you're going to pull yourself up and through to the front, kicking that leg now behind. So pulling silk to the chest. Now drop down, sending that butt to the ground, foot to the sky. Pull that silk down out of the sky and stretch the heart forward as the foot stretches back. Let's continue. Deep breaths in and out here. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in and out. Nice and steady. Just find your flow with it. There's no right or wrong as long as you're breathing. Can we do 2 more on this side? I think so. It's a great way to warm up the body, get everything moving at once. It's strengthening, it's stretching. It is all of the best. Now bring the feet underneath of you. Take a moment, shake it off. Take a nice deep breath in and out. Maybe wiggle your toes. Come up and down, because we're going to do the other side. So we're just giving those upper body muscles a moment to gather their ATP, their adenotriphosphate, so they can generate more energy for you. All right, so we keep it nice and precise, and we're not just muddling through trying to get it done. So take another deep breath in here for me. And exhale, sigh it away. Just let it go. Now, here we go, other side. So we're going to drop back this time into the other foot, sending now the other leg straight. Pull up and through, and all the way heart through, foot back. Good deep breath in and out. And exhale. Oh, I'm a little off my center there, but that's okay. You always make adjustments. Sometimes we pull ourselves out of position a little bit. For myself, I had a rotator cuff surgery on my right side last year. So my right arm is still trying to figure out how to collaborate with the left arm once again. All right, 1 more here. Up and through. That was my right arm again. Deep breath in and out. But the beauty of it is we can fight for perfection. It'll be a long fight, but practice makes progress. So even if you have to stop and make those little adjustments, it's totally fine. Your body's not failing, it's not broken, you don't need to fix it. It's just getting better each and every rep. Now, having said that, let's go into a rib wrap. So the silk will come behind you, and we'll get ourselves slightly in front of the plumb line. especially if there's a wall behind you. Hands go up, deep breath in, and now on the exhale, glide into that rib wrap. Now we're going to do another little flying sensation here. So I want you to bring one foot back. You're going to kind of kickstand it on its toes. Now when you're back here, this might feel like a beautiful stretch of the hip flexor. Take a deep breath in and out. Now I'm going to send my arms up, and I'm going to keep my arms overhead the whole time. I want you to pull into that front heel, push off the back foot, and find yourself kind of flying forward and catching into the ribs here. So you'll feel almost like you're in a high lunge. And then sweep it back. And you can even sweep those arms perhaps. Find those eagle wings, sweep it forward and sweep it back. So you're going to get this lovely stretch through the front of the hip flexor when you go back, and open up that heart and really kind of tuck the tail under you. And then as you move forward, you get a different type of stretch for that hip flexor. So go ahead and take a few more here. Breathing in, breathing out. Finding your flow. Hopefully jam into your favorite music. Have those 30-minute playlists ready to go, or your favorite playlist just playing on shuffle. Last one here. Now before we switch sides, the foot that's in the back, turn it towards the long end of your mat. And then notice how you're kind of catching forward here. I'm in a warrior two pose position with my legs, but I want to actually take the silk and make sure that it's in front of my face. So I'm going to put my hands here, and then I'm going to glide my body down into the side. So it's catching me at the bra line, kind of up in the armpit, right here at the chest. Now, option to put the front elbow down on the knee and find your extended side angle here. In fact, everyone meet me there for a moment. Let's just take a few deep breaths here. Feels good, why not? We're reaching out of our nest, preparing to fly. Option to stay right here, or take your top hand, grab a hold of that silk that's closest to you. No yanking on it at all, just hold it there for steadiness. I want you to bring your front foot back a little bit, so it's more under your hip, and at first it'll feel like it's too far back, but now as you extend your front leg, it's going to shift your weight forward so that you can find this half moon position. Now a hand can stay on the silk just to help the brain feel stable, or you can take the top hand away from the silk to find your half moon. Support it here by the rib wrap. And now let your body fly here a little bit. Just you're holding steady, but feel the space that you're creating from fingertip to fingertip, from the top of the head to the end of the heel. And then float yourself back down and all the way back up to standing. Take the silk, pivot it around, and we're going to find the other side. So stepping one foot back and then dropping into that rib wrap. Okay. Now from here again, you can fly back. You should get that beautiful hip flexor stretch, especially if you tuck your tail under here. And then as you shoot the heart forward, you'll find that high lunge position. I also like how much ankle mobility this exercise invites into the body. So just start to go up and down, or I should say forward and back for a few breaths here. Breathing in, breathing out. Jam into your tunes. Music is so healing, so I hope that you always are incorporating your favorite playlist here in the background. Awesome. One more time. Getting those beautiful stretches. And then hold here towards the front to rotate the back toes around towards the long edge. Front toes stay facing forward. I'm going to bring the torso upright so that the silk is in front of me. Sometimes placing your hands there helps keep the tension around your ribs so the silk doesn't drop down your back. Now, you're going to glide your weight forward. You'll feel that silk kind of snake around a little bit. It'll feel compressive here to the front of the chest, up underneath the armpit, and around the back bra line. or a wide part of your ribs. Bring your front elbow down to the front knee. Top hand's going to reach up, maybe even over for a great big extended side angle. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Feel the expansiveness between the top of the hip and the top of the rib or bottom of the ribs. Now, when you're seeing this, right now this is planned to drop in your app in December. But currently right now, it's the beginning of fall here. And literally, looking at my window, an eagle just flew by. So there you go. It's a sign. Fly like an eagle. Let's take this into the half moon next. So top hand's going to reach up to grab a hold of that silk. It's just going to be there to kind of steady you as you bring your front foot back slightly. That's going to allow you the leverage to then push into that foot, push the floor away, and find this place where you can balance in half moon. So that back leg comes up off the ground, reaching for that space behind you across the room. Top hand can stay on the silk for support or float up high. Deep breaths in and out here. I don't know about you, but half moon is one of the hardest poses for me on the ground for some reason. I think because of my hypermobility, I just can't seem to find the stability of it. So I really love this variation on the silk because it helps me find those side body muscles and deep hip muscles that support the pose on the ground. Now let that top foot, or I should say the back foot that's floating high, go ahead and let it come back down to the ground. You're going to come up to standing and around. Great job. Now, let's take this into a little inversion. We're going to do an inverted Baddha Konasana, forward facing today, not backward facing. It is very stimulating to the ankles, knees, and rotators. So take your time. Know that you can always do this one foot at a time and just kind of bend forward until your body's ready to do the whole inversion. So having said that, you'll put one foot into the silk. Make sure it's at the pinky edge. You're going to take those toes and really pull them back towards your shin. Make sure your toes and your heel are free of the silk for this one. Okay. Now, option, if this is enough for your body, you can always stay here. You can also bring your elbows in front and bend over it. You can also drape over it. So that is a modification for those of you who may not like the full inversion. As if that is your modification, you have plenty of time right now to delight in both sides, because I'm going to take everyone else into the full inversion. So just spend a few moments on this side, and then you'll switch and do that same exact thing on the other side. Now, full inversion, folks, here we go. Reach up nice and high. You're going to bring your other foot in so that you're touching footprint to footprint. All right? Now from here, I'm going to pull my chest towards the silks, but that's just to kind of make that adjustment so that the silks sit right in the groin area. Now I'm going to lean back a little bit to bring my elbows inside of the silk and then to the front of the silk. Notice the whole time I keep my grip. And then if you have a lot of tension, you might want to sit your hips down a little bit and see if those toes can come facing forward. Now, if you want to watch me do the inversion really quickly before you embark on it, this is your chance, because I'm going to demo it really quickly and come back out of it and then take you back into it, okay? If you already know it, just go into it and spend a little extra time in it. All right, so demo. Thumb in by the waist. Thumb in by the waist. Now here I have to kind of hold the chest back a little bit against the silks at my shoulders, and I'm keeping my core engaged. Thumbs are in. I'm going to keep a bicep curl in the arms, and I'm going to start to gently take my heart forward, and I'm keeping that arm curl, and I'm going to let my hands guide the silk into my hip pockets, not my belly. This is the full inversion. Now to come up, you might be tempted to reach behind you and send your toes back behind you. And that's called a butterfly, and that's a pose, and we'll get to that in a moment. But to truly come up, you'll put your thumbs by your hips, you'll grab the silks, watch your toes come towards your nose as you do an arm curl, and you'll come right back up, okay? Now, we have that out of the way. If you're already hanging out down there because you know the trick, spend some extra time in it because I'm bringing everybody else in with you. So we're sitting, footprint to footprint, knees are out, silks are at the back of the shoulder, hips have the silk. Take your thumbs in. Now you might drop forward pretty quickly, but to control it, keep some tension in your biceps. Start to let those hands guide the silk into your ribs. Think about keeping your balance as much as possible, and then let the body go with the inversion. Once you're here, you can just be still and breathe. Now, if you're taking that one leg at a time option, this might be a good time to switch legs if you haven't already. Or if you have switched once, you might just take another minute on each side, because everyone that's fully inverted, you're going to join me by taking your right hand to the right side of your mat and bring your left hand over to rest on top of the right side, and then let the head dive in. It's just a little extra stretch for the side body. 3 deep breaths here. Notice any tension you're holding in your hips, let it go. Trust the silk. Now bringing left hand to its side of the mat, let the right hand settle on top of the left hand. Let the head rest between the biceps, just that little extra inch here for the side body. With these inversions, we are getting extra blood flow to the head, to the upper extremities. We're also getting lots of good oxygenated flow through the lungs. Now, let's go to that butterfly for a moment, because number one, it will teach you how to not get up, but it's also kind of a secondary pose itself. So take your thumbs right by your hip pocket. Okay, so thumbs wrap to the inside of the silk by the hip pocket, fingers wrap around. Now walk your hands up the silk a little bit behind you, so it almost feels like you're going to come up. And now send the toes away from you, heels towards your behind. And now you have butterfly, and you can walk those hands up even higher and really open up the chest. Okay, this is not available to you for any reason. Just stay in that inversion a little bit longer. We're here for 3 breaths. Now you're going to glide the body down. And now we're going to make our way up, up. So to do that, look at your toes. So nod your chin towards your chest, see your toes. Have your thumbs in your hip pockets, fingers wrapped around the silk. Now start to do an arm curl, like you're bending your elbows and tightening your biceps. Watch your toes come towards your belly button, towards your nose, and roll yourself up until the shoulders hit the silk behind you. Once they do that, you're going to take your hands onto the silk, elbows come back around, straighten your legs, bring the knees in, and sit on down onto the silk. Great job. Okay, you made it. Now you can stay right where you are, because we're going to go into Garudasana or eagle pose, but a little differently. We're going to do it on the ground. So right where you are, you can go into a knee hang. And then from there, you're going to very carefully take your body all the way down. Keep your chin tucked towards your chest until the back of your head gently touches the floor. Now from here, keep your left knee strongly squeezing the silk. Bring the right leg up out of the silk and cross the right thigh over the left thigh, like you're crossing your legs. Now, if you can tuck those right toes behind your left ankle. And now you're in Garudasana legs. Give yourself a little swivel side to side. So just a little different variation here. Now I know that's usually tender on people's knees, so go ahead and bring the right leg back into the silk. Let the right knee catch the silk. Keep squeezing it. Left leg comes out, comes over the right leg. You can tuck those left toes behind your right ankle. And now you're in Garudasana legs again. And you can twist side to side. Taking nice deep breaths in and out. Steady wins the race. Now, from here, we're going to just gently, with the right knee hugging the silk, let the left foot come in and hook the silk. Okay, toes, left toes will kind of hug back. So you have that foot grip, and then guide your right knee out of the silk and right toes to the grip. Now you're just here in this long leg traction, lying on the ground with the feet on the silk. Nice deep breaths in and out. And then go ahead and lift those hips up once or twice. Take that nice traction of the hips. It helps open up the whole front body. You can really roll into the weight of those shoulders and feel them compress and open up the heart. One more here. And then come all the way down. Release the feet. Grab the silk if you can. And you're going to pull yourself upright to seated. Now, if you're able to, you can also then take the hands to the front of the silk, grab the silk, place the feet, pull yourself all the way up. We're going to go into cocoon next. I'm going to do this with my back facing you today so that you can see what I'm doing if you choose to watch this, pause it, and then review, etc. So stretch your silk out. Make sure you have the full length of it. And then you're going to grab a hold of that front edge, gather it up about 8 to 10 times. Elbows can go in. You're going to slide that edge right under your butt so you're unseated. Now from here, I'm going to lean back just a little bit into those angel's wings, put my feet into the silk and stretch the silk out so I have a nice length of silk and long legs. I'll just drape that extra silk over my shins. Now from here, I want you to sit up nice and straight, readjust so that your sits bones are right under you and you can sit tall. Option to keep the hands on this front edge as you start to guide yourself down, down, down into fish pose. Now, you can also just dive right into that. It would look like this. I would reach up and I would just sweep the arms forward and back. Now, hands can come to the floor or not. They can also reach behind you, clasping your fingers. Open up that heart. 3 deep breaths here. Bringing the hands to the silk. Guide yourself up, sitting up nice and tall. Then bringing the hands inside the silk, give yourself a little forward fold as a counter stretch. Let that head drop forward. Deep breath into the back and out. Now we're going to prepare for full moon pose, which looks a lot like a flying eagle. So I want you to, as you're seated here, take the foot side of your silk and make sure that you have enough silk so that you can cover at least your shins with the silk. Then you're going to reach up and find the shoulder edge of your silk. I like to go ahead and stretch it out and use my elbows and guide my body into it so that the silk feels like another t-shirt on. It should not feel like a turtleneck at your neck. There should be very little fabric at your neck, but when you cross your arms over your chest and you have your hands grab that silk at your shoulder's edge, you should be well covered in the shoulder area with this. Now, keeping your chin tucked towards your chest so your head doesn't get too heavy, reach your hands towards the ceiling. Flip your hands so that you are looking at your palms. Stick your thumbs into the edges of the silk. Nice straight arms here as you wrap your fingers around the edge of the silk and then roll your hands into it. So it should feel like you have like long gloves on now from shoulders to your hands. Now, chin still towards the chest. Watch your feet come up to point towards the ceiling. Now start to pull the silk down and push into those hands a little bit to bring your feet over so that you've rolled and your feet are now directly out in front of you and you are hanging upside down. Now you can stop right here. You don't have to go any further. But if you'd like to try it out, you can keep holding on to those edges of silk or put your hands out into the silk, but keep nice firm arms here, no bent arms. And then let your toes start to stretch away and drop the belly towards the floor. Now, this is only going to work if you have a good shoulder wrap. So if you feel like it's a shoulder's coming off on one side or the other, you want to make sure that shoulder's on really sturdy and firm before you start to stretch those feet away and belly towards the floor. And then coming back up. And see how you can even make a little exercise out of that. You can go up and down a few times as long as those shoulders are in their wrap. One more here because it's fun. And pull all the way through. Now, let the spine roll back into the silk. Let the full body roll back into the silk. I'm going to let my feet give me a little extra slack so I can pull my head fully into the silk. From here, we're going into Shavasana. You made it. Option to cross your arms over your chest, or option to put your hands behind your head right in the silk like you're hanging out in a hammock, or option to reach your hands towards the ceiling. Let the arms reach out of the top of the silk so those biceps come right by your ears. And then let the elbows bend, fingers dangle towards the floor. And here you settle into your breath. Nice and steady with the breathing. Feel your body give its weight to the silk, surrendering to gravity. See if you can tune in to the feeling of fresh air in the body. You've spent some time opening up the heart, opening up that space for the lungs to breathe, the organs to move. And just notice the fresh, new sensations trickling through your body. Take 3 deep breaths. Let this next breath be the biggest, deepest, most luxurious breath you've had yet today. Now reaching up to your silk's edge, start to gently walk your feet out. Of course, if you have more time to spend in Shavasana, by all means, please do. Otherwise, if you need to get on about your day, we have reached the end of our 30 minutes. And so with that, I say amazing work. Great job. Thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed this workout. Please share with friends. Please coming back to this practice. Each time it gets smoother and more fluid. It becomes a beautiful dance in your body. So with that being said, have a beautiful day on purpose. Namaste.